Hey guys, my name is David Ciampoli, also known as Chomps,
I'm Ryan Ciampoli, also known as Cat.
and together we own Chomps Live Breaks. We've been at this together for about 6 months. We are in Alma, Arkansas, and we are living our best life. Thanks so much for the request for the interview today. Actually, we're humbled and very proud of what we've created. And let's go ahead and jump into the questions, shall we, Kat?
Sure. First question is, what is card breaking?
Card breaking is cool. It's actually kind of unique. It has been around a little while, but it's caught a lot of steam, I'd say, during COVID-19, where a lot of us were at home looking for some things to do. We, of course, couldn't go out and spend our money in the ways we're used to. So I think what's really neat about card breaking, a lot of people have discovered card breaking at this time, and they have refound or rediscovered their joy of a hobby that maybe they once participated in as a child, teenager, and life got in the way and a lot of us stopped collecting baseball cards. So historically, you might go to a local card shop. Those, unfortunately, are not as rampant, I guess, as they used to be.
Not near as popular.
The internet, of course, killed a lot of that. And you'd go to a card shop, you'd buy a box of cards that maybe, again, historically, maybe wasn't as expensive as they are today, and you could open cards. Well, a lot has changed, and those boxes have gone up significantly in cost. And it does make it difficult to go to the shop, whether you're there going by yourself, whether you're taking your kids, to open up some cards. It's a little harder to do, I guess, financially.
We were young. We're originally from Southern California. My dad would always take myself and my brothers out to the local card shop, and we'd buy packs, we'd buy boxes, and it was just part of love of the game with baseball. That was our main sport. We, of course, love football and basketball as well. Baseball, of course, being number one. It's kind of what we do here on Chomps. It's mainly baseball. We do delve out into other sports occasionally when requested. But, man, I remember when I was a young child, parents would take us out to the card shop. We'd be busting open packs, looking for that auto that was super rare. Now it seems like you can pull some crazier, awesome stuff. Maybe that's why they're so expensive. A lot more craziness.
But the fact of the matter is that they are more expensive, and it's harder for people to do that. With the internet, if you have the itch to go to the card shop and open up cards, if you don't have a card shop in your area, you can't do it anymore. You'd have to go online, purchase a box, packs, however you did it, and wait. Well, card breaking changed all of that. Let's say that you're a fan of the Angels, and I say that because we are fans of the Angels.
Los Halos, baby.
And let's say that we only really cared. I mean, other cards are cool, and if you got cool things, great. But what we're buying the boxes for would be the Angels. Instead of having to spend hundreds of dollars on a box of cards for ourselves, really only hoping to pull the Angels, what you could do is you could actually participate in a card break. Basically, the idea is this. There are 30 teams. And let's go ahead and use an online auction site as an example for a way that this goes down. I could go online, and for a fraction of what I would pay for a box of cards, I could buy into a break, which means that an individual live on camera will open up product. And it's usually more than one box. You might see 2 box, 3 box, 4 box breaks. And if I buy the Angel spot or I win the Angel spot, basically everything that individual opens on camera and pulls that's an Angels card belongs to me. So I might pay a little shipping fee plus whatever I won the bid for, and I get to cheer on my Halos because that's really all I was concerned about. Now, maybe I'm after not a specific team. Maybe I'm after certain players, maybe rookie cards, maybe certain rare stuff. Maybe I want to buy into several teams. I have the right to buy as many teams as I want to if I win those bids. So what breaking basically is an affordable way to buy baseball cards, and you control how much you spend. It doesn't have to get crazy, and we love it because it's a lot of fun. A lot of times you have 15 to 25 different people that have bought into that break. Everybody's cheering on different things, yet in a nice card community, everybody can also cheer each other on the big hits that they get. So it's not just opening baseball cards. Think of it as hanging out with like-minded people. They all love cards. They're all cheering for certain things, and they're rooting you on too. It's a live interactive experience, and done right, it can be a lot of fun.
Now, Chomps, that kind of goes into the second question,
Sure.
Which is, what are some of the benefits of a person participating in a card break?
Of course, I started touching on that. Yeah, I would say that it's affordability, and again, it's a sense of community. There are a lot of breakers that are maybe more just about the hits, and that's okay. There's some people that want you to fly through the cards and just find, the advertised hits that the box gives you. But I think a lot of us would like the breaks take a little time. get some entertainment for some of the money.
Wait a second. You're saying that some breakers don't go slow through all the cards?
Yeah, a lot of them will flip fast. In fact, more of them will go fast than will go slow. Thought process is the more they can break, the more shows they can do, the more revenue that they're going to take in. My view of that was very different. I thought that we could have more revenue maybe per show and do fewer shows. And I think that model has been very good. But I guess to sum up the second question, you spend what you want to spend, you spend what you can afford to spend, and more importantly, you're going after the cards from the players of the teams you specifically chose for a fraction of what it costs to participate, go or buying a box of cards, and you get to have some fun in the process.
Right on. Number 3, you just reached 1,000 subs on YouTube. Congrats,
so happy.
First of all. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey towards becoming an established and well-known breaker?
That sounds weird, you saying that.
Thank you.
We're only 6 months in, but as we record this, we're at basically the end of September 2020. And I'll tell you, Kat, I know you know this story, but it was mid to late March, and I've been in insurance for 17 years. I love baseball cards. I refound my love of the hobby like so many did in March and April.
Yes.
And I started buying into breaks. I started to understand it. And no knock necessarily on others that are out there, but let's say the breaks that I bought into, I didn't have as much fun as I thought I could. I thought that they weren't as entertaining as they could be. And so laying in bed, true story, one morning, looking at cards, I thought, I feel like I could do this. I feel like I could try this as a hobby, and I could try to provide a fun show and go a little slower and interact with the chat a little more. And I want to try this. And believe it or not, by the end of that day, Chomps Live Breaks was born. The logo was created. Believe it or not, I went online and purchased, pins and backdrops and all this stuff, dreaming big. And I decided that night that my first show would be 5 days from then. So I had to scrape together some pennies to get my first case of cards to do this with. And we got started with a very inexpensive product. We joke, we still call us the trash show to this day because the technology was not good. I still have gone back, and you have too, tried to watch that first show that you were with me on.
It's awful.
I was terrified. As it got closer to showtime, I said, you've got to sit in with me. I can't do this alone. And so you and I did the first show. We did our best. And when we talked to some of the ones that have been with us since that first show, they say they saw something special. Yes, it was a train wreck, but they saw a couple guys with a genuine love of cards, trying hard to do something a little different than what was out there, and they came back. And they came back.
I said that's 480p at its finest.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Audio was awful. I remember that first show. We both were kind of nervous, about it because we've never done it before. Yeah. And I was there, frantically trying to put together the video, the audio, trying to make it look and sound as good as I possibly could. But I'm no IT guy, and you guys, we joke about that I'm a terrible IT guy. And you look at where it started versus where it is now, and it's night and day.
The 1,000 subscriber mark. So many YouTubers try and fail to get there, and I don't say that in a braggadocious way. We are humbled. We are so lucky that those few people saw whatever it was they saw in us, and they came back and they told other people, and then they came back, and one thing led to another. It took us forever to get to 100 subs. I think a lot of YouTubers, whatever content they have, would agree it takes forever to get there. And it slowly begins to snowball. If you're trying hard, if you're putting out good content, chances are your channel, whatever it is going to grow. And yeah, we're very fortunate. A couple weeks ago, we did hit the 1,000 subs marks. I think we're at 1,100 now. It keeps going up, and super, super lucky. And that's kind of how the journey started.
Awesome. Next question is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start collecting cards and participate in breaks?
So I think and it's funny because I get this question all the time, maybe not worded like that, but we get messages all the time from people, and people will come to the chat. And I think that they're hesitant at first because it is a unique concept. I think they're a little hesitant to jump in because it is a different lingo, and it's different than when they used to buy cards at the card shop. And what is going on here? The best advice I could tell you is just dive right in. Get online, whether it's us or somebody else, buy into a break. Don't go crazy. Buy one team, buy two teams, inexpensive teams. Get in there and just feel it out. If you're more comfortable staying quiet in the chat, great. Stay quiet, watch, get a feel for the community, get a feel for the breaker, try multiple breakers. I can't stress that enough. Try to find people that you feel like matches your style of breaking, right? Whatever that is, and ask questions. And if the chat or the breaker doesn't acknowledge you, or you don't feel like you're getting the attention, go somewhere else, because there's plenty of us that will. I love those questions. I love the idea that someone's a lot of times we get first break experience with us, and I love that, because then we get to take our time with them. A lot of them buy into these frenzies now, and we get to kind of, the community's great too, right? They're gonna walk you through it. So find a good community, find a breaker that you like, and just dive right in.
So you mentioned a frenzy. Is that a Chomps exclusive? What we do?
I don't see too many doing it. I see more and more people attempting this on Facebook, but basically, after scheduled shows that you buy into on eBay, we get together after our last show of the night, and we just open up the YouTube room, and we say, look, we are your virtual card shop. We are your online card shop. Whereas the eBay shows are way more structured. The products are planned out a month in advance. Listings are made a week in advance. The Feeding Frenzy is anything but structured. We have 15, 20 different products on the screen that, like a virtual card shop, someone can come into and say, I like this product. I can either buy a box for myself and we'll crack it for you, or more than likely, we're going to do a divisional break, and 6 divisions in baseball get randomized, and you just pay a flat fee and you get 5 teams, So it's unscripted. It's a lot of fun. You call the shots, and that's a great forum for you to ask a lot of questions. There's always dozens of people in the room that are happy to answer your questions.
Speaking of questions, we're going to go to question number 5. We are running a little short on time. Do you participate in any breaks? Is it tempting to not open your own product for yourself? Funny question.
Okay, so the answer is yes. I still get into breaks. Being, though, that we are a 7-night-a-week channel, it's a little tougher. Tonight is a great example. I got a rare night off, and I could not help but migrate back into the tank at some point because of how much fun it is. I was watching you break, and I wanted to get in. You broke all night, and here we are still talking about it. It's actually 3:15 a.m. local time. We've become men of the night.
See me yawning, I'm like, oh man,
yeah,
I'm tired.
Yeah. So the answer is yes. I get in as often as I can. As far as the urge to rip this stuff, you'll see behind me, there's dozens and dozens and dozens of boxes of different products, and I'll tell you, initially it was a lot tougher. I remember driving home with that first case and second case and third case as we went along, and it really was tough not to crack this stuff. But I'm like, if this is going to be what you want to do, leave it alone. And I'll tell you, it does get easier not to get into your own stuff.
Don't get high on your own supply.
Basically, yeah. I was gonna say that, but I'm like, nah, okay, we'll let Kat, who I have to censor.
I'm the guy that gets censored all the time
for good reason.
What is your favorite card that you've ever pulled?
Oh, well, this one's actually kind of easy. I've pulled a lot of cool stuff now in the last 6 months. I pulled a Hank Aaron auto 1 of 1. That certainly stands out. Seems like almost every night we're pulling some kind of crazy fire. Mm-hmm. We have a current 1 of 1 scoreboard that's only been on for a few weeks, and of the 3 of us that break, there's been 27 1 of 1. So it's kind of hard to narrow down. But my personal favorite, being that I'm an Angels fan, being that I love Mike Trout like you, a really cool story. Someone came into our YouTube room during a feeding frenzy, never had heard of us, bought into a break. I think it was like $75 for a divisional spot, and got the AL West, got the Angels spot. Well, in this break, a select product, I pulled the gold vinyl Mike Trout 1 of 1. Unbelievable card. Remember, I only bring this up that they spent $75 because what I'm about to share with you was I was able to make them an offer on the spot that I thought was very fair. The chat thought it was very fair, and we exchanged money right there. They'd sent the 75, and I think I sent them $800 or $900. They were very excited. Their first break was pretty fun. Not all breaks go like that, but because I pulled it and it was Mike Trout and it was 1 of 1, I'll never forget it. And it's even more special that it's in my collection now. So whoever you were that let me buy it, forgive me, I can't remember the name, but several months ago. Thank you for that. That is my favorite card I've ever pulled.
My most iconic card that I think I've ever pulled was a King Griffey Jr. It was a buyback autograph card, and it was serial number 2 of 2, which is super low on the serial number. It wasn't a 1 of 1 like you, Chomps, but it was just glorious. And it was King Griffey Jr., one of the best players ever in all of baseball. Tonight, for example, I pulled a gold numbered to 50 out of the new 2020 Bowman Chrome of Bayron Lora. one of the top prospects. That card is selling currently for around $3,500 to $5,000 for one of our new chompers tonight, and she was very excited about that. Needless to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
It's pretty amazing stuff. We get to be in the chair every night and see the most fire pulls you'd ever want to see with the mix of product that we have. So I guess as we wrap here, we were given permission. Thank you, Edward, for giving us permission to plug our channel, Chomps Live Breaks. You can find us on eBay. Our eBay store is Chomps Live Breaks. YouTube, search Chomps Live Breaks. Again, we are 7 nights a week. There will only be a handful of days in the year that we are not on at night and the middle of the night to break with you, be it a flagship show or a feeding frenzy. Check us out, Facebook, Chomps Live Breaks, and the Chomps Approved Sports Card community. We're also on Twitter, I understand.
We are on Twitter, and also we have a great Patreon family as well. So if you'd like to look us up on Patreon, it's www.patreon.com/chompslivebreaks.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to share our thoughts tonight. Best of luck to everybody, and get into some breaks. I think you'll enjoy it. For Kat, I'm Chomps. You've been chomped.
Bye, kids.
Bye, kids.